David Benavidez versus Caleb Plant lived up to all the hype. All the hype. David Benavidez fought well. Caleb Plant fought well. Action-packed fight, tactical fight, and it was a lot to actually unpack and break down from beginning to end. By the way, it's your boy G5JeffTv, aka G5, aka 5, aka the Guru. I done had a good 48 hours to actually think about this fight and what I watched on Saturday. And I got to break this down. I really got to break it down. But see, when you're talking about a main event, you're talking about a pay per view, when you're talking about a fight that's this big, you gotta take it back to the beginning. And I'm talking about when they first walked into the arena. So when you know it's a big fight, all the stars are out, and the fighters, of course, they going had a lady on the arm. So we gonna start there. I wouldn't be me if I didn't start there. Now, Caleb Plant walking into the arena, lady just class personified. You know what I'm saying? The elegant ballroom type dress, hair laid down. You know what I'm saying? Just classy, just straight classy. And that's how I like them. That's how I like them. Straight classy. So big shout out to Mrs. Plant on that. Definitely my kind of lady. Just kept it real classy. Just real stylish, real classy. Now, David Benavidez walks in, lady, thicker than some southern grits, you know what I'm saying? But she has, some extra ingredients if you know what I mean, if you know where I'm going with that. But I'm not here to criticize. She was styling on him too. So big shout out to Miss Benavidez for holding it down, you know what I'm saying, for the cameras coming into the building. Now, let's get to the fight. Now, going into the fight, Caleb Plant, the boxer, versus David Benavidez, the puncher, the volume guy, the activity guy. And when you have these fights, it really comes down to a couple of things. But the most important thing is Caleb Plant. Was his stamina going to basically check out? If his stamina checks out and he doesn't get hit with the money shot, then he has a really good chance of winning. David Benavidez, if he puts on the pressure, lands some power shots, then there's a good chance he was going to win. So we've seen this type of matchup before throughout boxing history, and these are one of the more intriguing fights that I like to see. And it kind of reminded me of, like, in terms of styles. I'm not talking about these are the same fighters, but styles, it was more so like a Andre Ward versus a Sergey Kovalev, you know what I'm saying? The boxer versus the puncher. Now, Caleb Plant, first 4 rounds, couldn't ask for anything more. Couldn't ask for anything more. He didn't get hit with no money shots. He kept the distance. He was effective offensively. Now, he didn't do a whole lot offensively, but he was effective offensively. And he was trying to style on David Benavidez a little bit first 4 rounds of the fight. But you could tell David Benavidez was just like, yeah, that's cool. I'm gonna get you in the back half of the fight. You could tell that's how he was thinking. Now, with David Benavidez, first 4 rounds, he didn't really go to the body. He didn't go to the body. You know what I'm saying? And when you're dealing with a puncher and a guy that could possibly be on the move quite a bit, you gotta drop some money in the bank. Gotta drop some money in the bank, so you can cash in on that a little bit later on. David Benavidez didn't do that. Surprisingly, he was throwing these lead straight right hands against Caleb Plant. And I didn't know what he was doing with them early in the fight, but I seen what he was setting up later on. They were set up shots to put himself in position to land some hooks and things like that. Get his combination started. Basically, after round 5, David Benavidez was like, you know what? Screw all this. We gonna turn up the heat. We gonna turn up the pressure, and he going to deal with this the rest of the fight. And Benavidez just started landing shots wherever he can land them, and kept the pressure on, and got a little sharper defensively as well. He started making Plant miss a little bit, and it got to a point where he really started causing some physical damage to Caleb Plant, and you could see Caleb Plant visibly slow down after maybe like round 7. you could tell he was starting to physically slow down because he started moving a lot more. You know what I'm saying? Um, Once I seen maybe around 7, 8, I was like, his legs is not gonna hold up. Last 2 rounds, he's gonna have to stand in the trenches, and that's gonna be bad. And that's pretty much what happened. Like, I gave Caleb Plant the first 4 rounds. A lot of people that I know, a lot of people that I'm cool with, gave Caleb Plant either the 3 of the 4 rounds, 3 of the first 4, or all 4 rounds. And I only gave him like one other round after that. I felt like Benavidez did a great job of gradually breaking down Caleb Plant. And Caleb Plant fought well. Let me make that clear. Caleb Plant fought well, but going into this fight, we knew Caleb Plant was going to have to put something on David Benavidez early to get his respect. Now, he got David Benavidez respect early in the fight because of his boxing skills. Caleb Plant needed to put something on David Benavidez that was going to get him thinking before he started walking in that front door. Something that was going to rattle his cage a little bit. And Caleb Plant, just, it seems like he doesn't have a whole lot of power at 168 pounds. And that's not saying you can't be successful. Like, Andre Ward didn't have a whole lot of power at 68 or 75. You know what I'm saying? But, he made it work because he's one of the best fighters out there, one of the best to ever do it. So you don't have to necessarily have like thudding power to get the job done. But when you're facing a guy like Benavidez, that dynamic offensively, and he's just a bulldog, like, you got to put something on him early and get his respect in terms of your punching power. And Caleb Plant just eventually could not do that. Like, he boxed well, he moved well. Breadman gave him solid advice throughout the whole fight. I mean, he just gave himself an opportunity after the first half of the fight to win the fight, but Benavidez just turned it up second half of the fight. And, Caleb Plant just really couldn't hold up at the end of the day. It was kind of similar to the Canelo fight in the sense of just he did well early. He did a lot of little things well early, but just towards the end, he just couldn't put it all together. And he couldn't put anything on his opponent to make them think or to make them just stop for a second. Like, Benavidez just kept coming at him, coming at him, coming at him, and just eventually, you're gonna wilt under that pressure, unless you're just a very, very elite fighter. And I think Caleb Plant is a good fighter. I just don't think he's elite. You know what I'm saying? But it was a really, really good fight. I had it 115, 113, I think. I If anybody had it 116, 112, I wouldn't be mad at you. But I had a 7-5. I had a 7-5 Benavidez. It's weird. I had a 7-5 Benavidez, but I thought it was a clear Benavidez win. It looked like the crowd was absolutely crazy. Big shout out to my guy Chris G. He was in the building. David Benavidez, #1 fan. You know what I'm saying? So, he had to go in there and hold it down, for himself and for the channel as well, man. Big shout out to Chris G. And it was just a good main event. Like, it ended the way I thought it was going to end with a Benavidez win. To be honest with you, if it wasn't for Kenny Bayless, he probably could have got a stoppage. If it wasn't for Kenny Bayless, he could have got a stoppage because Caleb Plant, after a while, started doing excessive holding, and Kenny Bayless didn't warn him one time. He didn't warn him one time. Kenny Bayless looked like he was just picking on Benavidez the whole fight. You know what I'm saying? Outside of Kenny Bayless' performance, I felt like the main event was a really, really good main event. I'm glad it was a big crowd out there. Everybody was into it. And I'm glad those guys just buried the hatchet. You know what I'm saying? Like, they had a lot of beef. Then they went in there. They fought like men, fought like true top level fighters. And they shook it up at the end of the day. They shook it up at the end of the day, man. And we love seeing that. I wish that happened more and more just in life. You know what I'm saying? Except for people just resorting to the guns and stuff like that. You know what I mean? You just go in there, just handle it mano a mano, and then just shake it up at the end, win or lose. You know what I'm saying? Where Benavidez goes from here, Canelo got John Rodder. And then after that, I don't want Canelo to go and fight Bivol again. Only because he has all the belts at 68. If he didn't have the belts at 68, then I would say, if Canelo wants to go fight Bivol and try to avenge that, I wouldn't have no problem with it. But I don't want him fighting Bivol and then he's holding a division hostage by not fighting the #1 guy and he has all the belts. So for that reason, I would like for Canelo to give Benavidez a shot that he deserves at the end of the day. Now for Caleb Plant, he just has to, just recoup, recover, you know what I'm saying, and get back at it. If a Jamal Charlo wants to come up to 68, I think that'll be a great fight. Caleb Plant, Jamal Charlo, that's another pay-per-view. You know what I'm saying? David Morrell, that's a solid fight for him at 68. David Morrell he's one of the hottest guys in the sport, man. Young guy, you know what I'm saying? I don't know if Caleb Plant will want to take that fight. He probably thinks, his name is a little too big and he's had too many big fights to fight a David Morrell. I would understand that from Plant perspective, but it's not a whole lot happening at 68. 68 is not that hot right now. It's not really that deep. You know what I'm saying? So if I was playing, I would probably shoot for a Jamal Charlo pay-per-view fight next. Or if he wants to take a tune-up, and then look at a Jamal Charlo fight. I think that'd be great for him. And Benavidez is either Canelo will move up to 75. Because if he can't get Canelo at 68, just move up to 75 and get some of that smoke at 75. There's plenty of guys for him to fight at 75, man. And make all that happen. And it's crazy because Canelo may have all the belts, but I do feel like David Benavidez is the king at 168 pounds. But hey, y'all let me know what y'all think in the comment section. It's 5. I'm out.